Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What is up, everybody? Mike Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you for a few minutes, I don't know how long it's going to be, about the power of unplugging, the 2-week vacation test, what happens, when you take a step back from your business, especially as your business grows. So, if you're early on in your business journey, $250K a year, $500K a year, even like $750K a year, you might find it difficult to step away from the business because you're really everything in the business. You're doing production, you're doing sales, you've been doing some of the actual painting, and you're talking to customers, you're scheduling jobs, you're organizing everything, you're doing your finances, you're transferring money, you're doing everything, right? And when you're doing everything like that, the concept of stepping away from your business can sound not just like terrifying, but downright impossible. But I think it's every aggressive business owner's goal to be able to get their business to a point where they can take a step away for a certain period of time, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and eventually have the business running completely passively without them. But it all starts much earlier on. It starts at being able to take a little bit of time away first, having those systems in place, seeing what breaks, coming back, fixing it, and making that time that you're away from the business longer and longer every time. So what I did is I recently we did a 10-day vacation, family holiday. We went across the country and visited some friends, and I did my very best to unplug. I didn't do any meetings. My team just handled all of it. We were prepped ahead of time, and it was pretty good. There weren't any major fires. There were only kind of 2 things that needed my attention throughout the whole 10 days, which was, again, good to identify. But I'm learning about what needs my attention still so that as I continue to do it, next time, hopefully a little bit longer, there'll be even less that requires me. So, we've worked with painting business owners and helped them through this same process in their businesses, even and to the point where we had one owner who was working with us for a couple of years. He moved to Paris, France, and had his business, which was operating in like Vancouver, Canada, and he was living in Paris, operating his business completely remotely without him. We had another business owner who recently moved down to Costa Rica. He was on the podcast a little while ago. I think Costa Rica or Colombia. Anyway, So I think actually it was Colombia, to go live with his wife's family and his business operating completely independently. So there's a process to it, and you absolutely can achieve it if you want to grow your business significantly and get to that point where you do become passive. But it's about doing a little bit at a time, getting a little, learning a little bit more, and identifying the things that are pulling you back and putting the systems, the people, the processes in place for those things to happen and get accomplished without you, so that you don't have to be the one always doing that, right? And just like any business, any painting business, you need to start small. You need to get you need to start big. You need to get the big things off of your plate first, and then it's going to become smaller and smaller, the little things that are going to need you. So initially, as you start your business, you need to get painting off your plate. It is, if you heard like Jesse and Chase's podcast episode last week, it is impossible to grow your painting business if you are on the tools. It's just, you are too busy, you're too tired, you get home, you're done, you're toasted, you're just thinking about that job. You're like, being on the tools, it's impossible to grow your business quickly. So you need to get off the tools as quickly as possible, and it's going to hurt. This is a different mindset. Your mindset is going to be, I know when you do this initially, your mindset's going to be, I can't afford painters because that's going to take all my profit. That's the only money I make. I'm going to pay all the money that I make in my business to these painters to get the jobs done. That's not entirely true. There's still going to be profit left over if you're doing it properly. Just, you're going to be making a lot less money. Hopefully, you're learning to bid more, and you're not bidding as a solo proprietor, and you're bidding at an $85 to $100 an hour charge rate, and you have enough money to pay a painter $25 to $35 an hour, still keeping a 50% gross profit after labor and materials. If you can do that, and you can get off the tools, and you can have a few painters working for you, now you have a business that can at least make money while you're not on site, right? Not making as much money. You need 2 painters, full-time painters to basically generate enough gross profit to cover your own salary. But that frees you up to do estimates, to run production, to do sales, to do marketing, to do admin, all of that stuff. From there, the other main buckets that you have are obviously production, running the production, so scheduling jobs, talking to customers, just picking up paint, moving ladders, just general production management. Then you have the sales aspect, so going to jobs or going to estimates, writing proposals, talking to customers, closing deals, collecting deposits, coordinating with production to get that job done. Marketing, which is generating leads and converting leads into estimates. And then we have back-end admin, which is going to be everything else, right? And there seems to be a lot of that, and there's softwares that help with that. But basically, to a fully sustainable painting business, you can have 4 people, 3 to 4 people on the back end of it, and have you be completely removed. So you need your sales rep, your marketing person, your admin, and your production manager. And if you can have that team of 4, you can set up the systems where you can get free from your business. Now, there are ways that you can take smaller breaks from your business if you don't have all 4 of those. And say you're still running production, doing sales, doing marketing, but you have painters already. You have painters, but you're doing everything else. You can take a break from your business. You need to kind of, like, if say you want to go away for a week. Okay, I recently had a client I was working with. He wanted to go away for 2 weeks to Europe with his wife and his kids. So we planned for it, and how we ended up basically making that work is he knew that some things were not going to happen. Sales weren't going to happen. Marketing wasn't really going to happen. But the things that really did need to happen in this case were production management requirements. So we talked about his he had 3 crew leads. So we talked about each of his crew leads, what responsibilities they could take on, what they couldn't, what we needed to pass over, what was going to happen, forecasted any potential roadblocks or challenges or things that might come up while he was gone. And we solved them ahead of time so that he got that space to be able to take a break and have the business still make money without him. He still made himself available through through WhatsApp, but because of the work that we did leading up to it, he didn't really have any major fires while he was gone. Now it's okay to do that every now and then, because we need breaks and we don't work to live. We don't live to work, we work to live. But what's better is if you can get those other pieces in place, because while he was gone, there were no sales that were made, no leads that were generated, and he needed to get back and kind of play catch up. And I'm sure you've been in that spot before, where you've taken a break from your business and come back and you've had fires to clean up or catch up, or your business didn't make money or nothing moved forward. But if you can get good people in these positions, you will have a business that allows you to move things forward. So now I'm going to talk to the people that do have these positions in place, so that you can equip these people to solve problems, so that when you go away, you're going to have your problems. And then how to do basically a analysis of the different problems or challenges or questions that come to you while you're away, or things that are waiting for you when you get back, so you can then improve your systems to make it better. Right? We call it the 2-week vacation test. If you can take a 2-week vacation and have your business not fail, or like basically grow without you, now you have a business that's really worth something, and something that you should be proud to have. So basically, how you need to do this is look at each one of these roles as kind of individual departments, because they are, and they need to be able to accomplish things on their own. So number one, does each position have weekly KPIs that they are being held accountable for, with or without you? So right now it should be with you. But what I find is a lot of business owners, if they don't, they might have these positions, people that are just working really hard, like a production manager that's just working really hard, or a sales rep that's just doing as many estimates as they can, or a marketing person that's just doing as much, when marketing as they can. But do they have KPIs that they are accountable for, that are the biggest needle movers in the business? So for production, your production manager needs to have a specific KPI. So what are some KPIs for a production manager? You can have number of produced hours per week. You can have number of amount of production, amount of collected sales, or percentage of jobs finished under budget, and then what percentage were they finished under budget. You could have gross profit of each project. And essentially, your production manager's responsibility is to fill in the spreadsheets with the data at the end of every week and report those to you. And so the thought here is if they're reporting these numbers on the spreadsheet, at least, to you every single week, if you get in that rhythm where they're filling out the numbers every week, you're holding them accountable and they know how to impact those numbers. They know how to impact profitability of a job. They know how to impact the speed of a job. They know how to impact the motivation of the painters or the quality or the number of Google reviews. Then if you're gone for a couple of weeks and they know the numbers, they should be able to push towards those same numbers regardless of you being there or not. Right. So then if we move to like the sales rep, again, it's not just about doing as many estimates as possible, but how many estimates are they doing? What's their average job size? Are they responsible for getting any leads, or are they just coordinating with marketing and closing inbound leads? What should their close rate be? The number of estimates per week, their average job size, and are they reporting on those numbers every single week? Do they know their numbers? Do they know what their goals are? And are those targets that they have in terms of sales goals aligned with the targets that your production manager has on his or her production plan, right? Because if they're not aligned, if your sales rep's goal is to book $10,000 a week, but your production manager's goal is to book or to produce $20,000 a week, well, you're going to run out of work pretty quick. So those need to be aligned, and it'll of course change seasonally depending on what time of year you're basically having this. Since in like maybe in April and May you might have higher booking, and then June and July bookings might go down and production might go up. Anyway, does it align with the year? Do they know what their metrics are? And most importantly, do they know how to impact those metrics to achieve their goals on a weekly basis? So if you're tracking this for multiple weeks over time with your sales rep, with your production manager, and they know what to do, you've helped them problem solve these things. For you to be able to go away for a week or two and have them still do those same exercises for the next few weeks with their metrics, making sure they're on track, that should be good enough to keep them on track while you're away, right? Next is your marketing person. Main metrics for a marketing person are number of leads, number of booked estimates, cost per estimate. And if you are working with your marketing person on a weekly cadence, they should know how to do these things. And if one of these main people that you have in place don't know how to do one of these main things, like if your marketer doesn't know how to get more estimates and reduce cost per estimate, if your salesperson doesn't know how to increase their close rate and increase pricing and charge rate, if your production manager doesn't know how to increase profitability and motivate your painters and increase quality, then maybe you have someone in the wrong seat. Because if you can't leave them for a day or a week or a month and just have them do their job without you and still be successful, and you're worried about them, you're like, oh shoot, this guy's going to screw up as soon as I look away. And that's the wrong person. And you got to make the hard decision and remove that person from that position, replace them with someone better, even if it's going to hurt in a short time. Life is too short and business is too fragile to have bad employees. If we've talked about this before, you cannot have underperforming employees, no matter how easy it is to have that person in place, just to have a warm body, someone that's okay at that position. It's not sustainable, and it's going to just make it so you could never leave your business, keep you chained to your business, and never give you that independence that you want with your business, right? You're in business to make money and to create freedom for yourself and your family. And as long as you have someone in one of these roles who needs babysitting, you do not have freedom, right? No bueno. Now, the last one, of course, admin. So everyone's business is a little bit different in terms of what they assign to the admin, but the admin should be just doing things in the background automatically, whether it's calling leads, scheduling jobs, following up with customers, inputting receipts, whatever you have that admin doing, they should know, what to do on a weekly basis and how to report those activities to you, so that you can check back to make sure that they were done. But again, if you feel like you need to constantly micromanage this role as well, then it's the exact same as the other ones. You need people that you can trust, that get things done, that improve systems when you're not there, and not just follow them blindly and complain. Anyway, so if you're trying to step away from your business and you have these management pieces in place, but you're just like not confident yet, I would suggest just doing it and seeing what happens, because you will get an incredible amount of clarity from your business and from what happens when you're gone, and give you exactly what you need to fix. And there is a little bit of a, component of it where you just, some fires have to burn. You just have to learn some lessons by letting mistakes happen in your business. You might find by leaving for a week or two, maybe start with a week, maybe even start with a 3-day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. See what happens and learn from it. That's the only way, because you probably don't even know the amount of work that you're doing for your business, the way that you're helping various people on your team, because of how you do it so subconsciously. So take a break, take a little step back. And if you are in this position where you have a team and you're really scared to take that step back, shoot me an email, mike@paintergrowth.com. Let me know your situation and I'll give you some tips. Maybe we can even do like a live coaching call on a podcast episode. Would love to help you get a break. Anyway, mike@paintergrowth.com. And if you haven't already, guys, please give us a quick review on this podcast. It really, really helps. We're trying to grow this thing, reach more people, help more businesses. And that's how we can do this stuff, this free content. Hopefully help you move the needle in your business a little bit. So give us a review on Spotify. That'd be the best spot. And love you guys. Thanks again for listening. Peace. Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.